Who are you? I mean, really, who are you? It sounds like a really simple question, but do you truly understand at a fundamental level who you are? It can get deep really quick, and the more you dig, the deeper it gets. I'm fascinated by this topic. I love talking about it and getting into these discussions with people, and that's why we're here. I am going to share with you some steps you can take that's going to help you on your journey to discovering who you really are. It doesn't matter where you are in your professional career or your personal life. Maybe you're just starting out, you're young, you're getting into the business world, you're starting new at your first company at an entry level position. Or maybe you've been around like me for a while. Maybe you are a veteran at whatever it is that you do. You got to know who you are. If you don't, you'll never reach your full potential. And that's just the cold, hard reality of it. I'm here to help guide you, get you started on this journey. And it is a journey, it's never a quick, once and done revelation. You're going to spend your entire lifetime defining that simple question that I asked at the beginning of the video. Who are you? It's not my job to tell you. It's your job to discover this. And to help you, we're going to talk about some learning objectives. Upon successful completion of today's topic, we have these wonderful learning objectives staring straight at us right now. You will understand these. You will understand how important it is to look inside, look at yourself. I need to define myself by looking at myself. Nobody else. I don't care what anybody else has to say at this point. I want to see myself. I want to look at myself. I want to see those good things, the not so good things, the good, the bad, the ugly. Yes. How do I find that out? Well, there's a free test, a free personality test that's out there. I'm going to show you how you can go out, quickly take this free test, and the answers that you're going to receive are going to be shocking. You're going to love a lot of it, and you're going to be kind of shocked on some of the other. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, really? Is that really me? Yeah. And you need to see it. If you've taken a personality test before, that's great. I'm gonna I'm gonna give you another one. I'm gonna give you access to another one. Okay? And this is where you're gonna learn about your strengths that everybody loves to talk about. Everybody loves to talk about their strengths. I'm good at this, 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 this. Okay, fantastic. What do you struggle with? Nobody wants to talk about those things. They're weaknesses. They either don't want to own them, they want to deny them, they want to hide them, and we can go on with this. But the bottom line is, if you truly want to learn who you are, you got to know those strengths. Yay. And you also have to understand your weaknesses. Again, the good, the bad, and the somewhat downright ugly. Got to embrace it. You got to know about it. And this free test is going to put you on your way. And then finally, you see that when life happens, look again. Okay, everybody's definition of life and when it happens is going to be different. I'm going to define it very simple for you guys and put it in context and how it relates to this fourth bullet point. When life happens to you, I want you to look again at yourself. And life does happen to us all. It never ends. From the beginning to unfortunately the very end, we are experiencing life. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. I'm going to share with you steps you can take as life is happening to truly understand who you are. You know, I got so excited by jumping into the Who Are You discussion that I did not introduce myself. My name's Todd, and on behalf of Bellcom Training, I'd like to thank you for joining us today on the Who Are You discussion. Now, let's take a look at the first step. Step number one to discovering who we are is looking inside. Look inward, right? You need to look inward. I don't care what anybody else has to say about us. I don't care. And you shouldn't either at this point. We should care about looking in our own hearts, inside us. What makes us tick? All right. And there's a real easy way to do that. I'll get to that here in a second. I'm going to jump ahead to the why. Why is it important for us to look inside? Really, it comes down to this, and I'm a firm believer in this human condition. We should all strive to become better, to become better versions of ourselves. Doesn't matter what you do personally, doesn't matter what you do professionally, where you are on your professional career scale. It doesn't matter where on the food chain you are, whether you're just starting out in an entry level position or you are at the very end of the tail end of your career. Maybe you're in a leadership position. And again, there's different levels there. It doesn't matter. You should all we should all strive to become better at whatever it is we do. And in your personal lives, it's the same way. We should all be striving to become better spouse, better friends, better parents, maybe better at surfing or skiing or bike riding, whatever it is. So this has long-lasting implications. It all starts, though, right here at who are you? By looking inward. This is the first step. And that first step is where I'm leading you guys right now. That first step, you can find out about you on 16personalities.com. I have it up right now. 16personalities.com is a fantastic personalities test. They really do a fantastic job. I've been working with them for nearly 10 years. They have no clue about me, but I have a clue about them. I've been using this in all my classes that discuss the human condition, communications, uh, increasing soft skills, you name it. All this stuff right here, you got to learn about yourself. You got to know about yourself. Personality test is a great way to start that process. And here it is. 16personalities.com is very simple. And the best part is it's free. Yes, it's like Myers-Briggs type indicator, but for free. The MBTI, Myers-Briggs type indicator, that's a fantastic personalities test as well. And I've taken that many times as well. But there's a cost to it. And I can get nearly the same results with 16personalities.com. It works great. And the best part is it's free and they don't spam you. All they ask for is your email address. So let's go ahead and see how this works. I'm at 16personalities.com right now. I see take the test. So I go ahead and click on that, and right away it starts me into my first question in the test. Now, before I answer this, I'm going to tell you this. This is very important. You're committed now. You want to take this test to learn a little bit about yourself. You're fascinated. I wonder how this is going to work out. And you should be. If this is the first personalities test you've ever taken, yeah, it's exciting. All right. But there's a disclaimer here. This is an algorithm. And it's going to take whatever you put in and it's going to crunch the numbers, if you will, and give you an output. And that output is going to be defined as your personality. But here's the twist. If you don't answer truthfully on these questions as they come up, it's going to be garbage in. And you've heard that saying, garbage in, garbage out. And that's true. If you do not answer truthfully, honestly, and sometimes it's painful to do, but you got to do it. Nobody's going to be checking your work. Nobody should be looking over your shoulder seeing how you answer these. You're not taking this test for your neighbor, your significant other, your boss, your coworker. You're taking this for yourself. So only you are going to see these results. Okay? So answer truthfully, and we're going to start off with the first question. You regularly make new friends. Well, you're either going to agree or you're going to disagree or somewhere in between. I'm going to select agree, and as soon as I do, it presents me with my next question. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones. Well, yeah, I agree with that. And you're going to continue. You're going to keep on working through all of these questions. When you get to the end, it's going to ask you for an email address to send the results to you. Go ahead and provide that. Now, when you're done, it's going to send you those results, and you're going to fall into one of four categories. You're either going to be an analyst, a diplomat, a sentinel, or an explorer. And each one of these categories have four personality traits. Okay, and you can see them right here. I'm not going to go through each one of these. But yeah, these are gonna define who you are. And you can see the little designators. It looks encrypted right now, but they will start to make sense here in a moment. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you took this test and you came back as a sentinel. Okay. All right. So you're in this category, and let's say you're an executive. Okay. Let's click on that. And let's see what they have to say about you. They're going to give you this is an overview of that category or of that character, but the results you're going to get are going to be much deeper. Okay. I'm just going to read off the very beginning of this. The Sentinel category, the executive character or personality, is ESTJ, is a personality type. Here's the traits: extroverted, observant, thinking, and judging traits. Okay, this is what you have. They possess, or this person who took this test, they possess great fortitude, empathetically follow their own sensible judgment. They often serve as a stabilizing force among others, able to offer solid direction amid diversity. Okay, that sounds like a great character trait. I like this. And you can continue on reading about this on your own time. And I would highly recommend that when you get your results back, saturate the reading that they send you about you, because this is all about you. And right now, you're looking in. You really are. And I would specifically like you to focus on this: strengths and weaknesses. Focus on that. Let's go ahead and check out the executive strengths first. Let's hit that one because, again, everybody loves to hear about their strengths. So here we are: strengths of the executive. Well, they're dedicated. Okay. Strong willed, direct and honest. I like that one. Loyal, patient, reliable. Love that. Enjoy creating order. And finally, they're excellent organizers. So if you came back as a sentinel, you relate to all of these strengths right here. I should say, if you came back as an executive in the sentinel category, an executive, these are your strengths. And you're probably doing laps right now, celebrating your greatness. And that's really cool. Yes. But you need, and I made a comment, you need to embrace the other side, the not so good side. They call them weaknesses. All right, let's see what the Sentinel category executive personality trait, what their weaknesses are. So you scroll down. Wow, inflexible and stubborn, uncomfortable with change, judgmental, too focused on social status, difficult relaxing, or difficulty relaxing, difficulty expressing emotion. These are their weaknesses. Okay, well, let's get into this. This discussion point right here is very important. And I discuss this in a lot of different classes, a lot of different scenarios. And I tell people the same thing. Do they always listen to me? I hope they would. And I would hope that you take this next bit of advice that I'm going to give you and run with it. Again, we all like being told our strengths. We love revealing our strengths. We love hearing about those, and they are a big part of us. But you need to embrace and own those weaknesses. And don't get me wrong, this is just the executive's weaknesses. Every single one of these personality types that I showed you earlier, every single one of these, they have their own set of strengths and weaknesses, and you're going to find yourself on one of these spectrums. Embrace those weaknesses. They are as important to defining you as those strengths. But here's the beautiful part. Remember, I started this discussion by saying we should all strive to become better versions of ourselves. And you're going to be, yeah, maybe you were thinking when I said that, yeah, well, how do I do that? Well, I promised you, we were going to get to that point, and here we are. This is the beginning part of the resolution, if you will, or the advice on becoming a better version of yourself. 16 personalities is giving it to you right here. Yeah, strengths. Take those, hold on to them. But the weaknesses are where, in my humble opinion, where we should focus our attention on. Now, you're never going to fix all of these at one time. And remember, I said this is a journey. It is a very long journey. Take little nibbles, little bites of each one of those weaknesses and just try to improve yourself. You're always going to have a weakness. There is no doubt about that. But if you can start focusing on improving how you are with those weaknesses, and again, let me go back to, well, let's pick another one. Let's go with the entrepreneur. Let me go to the strengths and weaknesses. Let's say this is you. Here's the strengths. Okay, yep. I love those, but let's get to the weaknesses. You're insensitive. You're impatient, impulsive, unstructured, may miss the bigger picture. You're defiant. Every single one of these guys have a weakness. And if this is you, focus on maybe working on the defiant. Try not to be so defiant with other people. That's what this one's telling me. You push back. You may miss the bigger picture. You're focusing on these small victories right now, but not thinking of the bigger picture. Start focusing on how you can see the bigger picture. Work on those. Take little nibbles, little bites. That's how you become better. Absolutely. Can you do it? Yes. Yes, you can. Remember, we all have weaknesses. Embracing those weaknesses, owning those weaknesses is the first step to greatness. It really is. Now, here's something else I'm going to share with you. And I mentioned this again. I talk about this all the time in my other classes where I talk about soft skills, anything that I bring up about personality. I always end up talking about the inevitable life happens to you. It happens to all of us. What do I mean by that? When life happens to you. All right, that was one of our learning objectives for this discussion. When life happens to you, look again. What the heck are they talking about there? You may have a certain personality trait right now. And the person I picked on was the sentinel category. And this person came back as an executive. Okay, great. And we talked about we talked about the strengths and weaknesses. Oh, by the way, there are a lot of other categories here. There's a lot to digest. Romantic relationships, friendships, parenthood, career paths, work habits. There's a lot happening here. Here's something else. I know I'm going in circles here, but trust me, I am a victim of shiny object syndrome. And I tell you, I package it all together at the end. You are the Sentinel executive. You read all this stuff. Here's the fun stuff right here. Other famous people, what were their personality traits? They're right here. So if you're a executive, well, you're in good company. Sonia Sotomayor, John D. Rockefeller, Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy. You can just check out all, and they got fictional characters too. Here we go. from Lord of the Rings, Boromir. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I do remember the character. I do not know. Oh, yes, I do. Dwight. I do know Dwight. And then you got Clara Dumfrey from Modern Family. I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV, but yeah, here's some of the fictional characters that you relate to. Here are the famous people, just a handful of them. These are the fun things. But when life happens, and that's where I'm getting to, and life happens to us all, go take this test again. You need to, because you're going to change. Let me get to the definition of what I mean by when life happens to you. We all start life when we're younger, and then we start meeting people, and we start to discover something very interesting. They're different than us. How did that happen? Well, they're different than us because they have different cultural heritages than us. They may have different foods they eat. Their home environment may be different than yours, right? Maybe they're being raised by a single parent. Maybe their parents aren't with them anymore. Maybe there's so many different variables here, but those things, they build experiences. And then as they go through school, as that person goes through school, they have more and more experiences until finally they get to an adulthood. They've experienced life, so much of life, but it doesn't end there. As we continue to grow, as we continue to age, we get jobs. We have success in our jobs, maybe some failures. Our personal life, maybe we meet someone, maybe we marry that person. They now are our significant other. Maybe we have children. Then maybe we get a divorce. Things aren't working as well as they used to. This is something that nobody likes to talk about, but we have to acknowledge it. At some point in your life, someone close to you is going to pass away. That's life. That's what I mean when I say when life happens to you, take the test again. Let's say you just finish your education. You got your bachelor's degree, you're going out into the world, you got your first real job in your desired career path. Hey, here you are. Yay, go take the test. And then you're rocking and rolling and you get a promotion. Take the test. This is life happening to you. You met that significant other. You get married. Take the test. As these things happen, take the test again. It's free. And you're going to change. You're going to change personalities because you're growing as well. Remember this. And when you take this test and come back with a different personality, let's say you used to be that executive in the Sentinels category. Now you're the consul. That's what it came back. What is a consul? Well, a consul is a personality type with an extroverted, observant, feeling, and judging traits. They are attentive and people focused. They enjoy taking part in their social community. Their achievements are guided by decisive values, and they willingly offer guidance to others. Yes, this sounds cool, but it's a little different than what you were. Now, if you come over here, there's a whole new set of strengths and weaknesses that are associated with this personality type. Strong practical skills, strong sense of duty, very loyal, sensitive and warm, good at connecting with others. But you got new weaknesses to work on. And those weaknesses are worried about your social status, you're inflexible, you're vulnerable to criticism, often too needy. You're too selfless. Yes. And you're even going to have different famous people that relate to you. Taylor Swift, Jennifer Garner, Bill Clinton, Steve Harvey, Danny Glover. I love Danny Glover. Jennifer Lopez, Sally Field. And it goes in the same thing, goes into fictional characters. Yeah. So you're going to change. As life happens to you, you're going to change. Your personality is going to change because we are human. We're people. And that's the beautiful part of this thing we called life. You got to embrace the good, the bad, the ugly. 16 personalities is going to help highlight that for you. And as you change, now you have new weaknesses to work on it. Use that same mentality. You cannot eat an elephant all at once. You have to take those small bites. chunk by chunk by chunk. And if you can do this, own those weaknesses, embrace those weaknesses, work on them little by little by little. You're never going to be perfect. Understand that. But if you can improve on just little areas, you're going to become a better version of yourself. And along the way, here's the beautiful part, along the way, you're going to become a better version of yourself and know who you are. And that's the beauty of this. That's the overall big goal. Now that you have the beginning steps to understanding who you are, it's going to open up a world for you. It really is. You're going to discover that you're going to make new friends at work, friends that maybe you really didn't think about before. You just did your thing, you had your small inner circle, but there are other people that you just didn't interact with. Well, as you start to improve on those weaknesses, it's amazing how more and more people want to be around you. You're going to become a better employee, right? That's how leadership's going to see, because they're going to see and hear positive things about you from other people. Yes, you're going to cultivate new relationships with people at work. You're going to cultivate new relationships in your personal life. You're going to be more approachable. You're going to be better at being a boss, right? Your reports, they're going to feel more comfortable coming to talk to you. This opens up a lot of things. And as you can see on this slide, you're going to become a better employee, better boss, better friend, better spouse, basically better at everything that you do. So, yeah, is it worth your time to invest in learning to become a better version of yourself? I think it is. Please do yourself a favor. Invest the time to go out to 16personalities.com. Find out who you are. Take that test. Read and take ownership of what they give you. If you find out that you don't agree with everything that they're throwing at you, well, you probably didn't answer correctly or truthfully or honestly. I'm trying to be brutally honest here. You have to answer truthfully. But I will also make this comment. How you are feeling when you take that test is going to also influence your results. Don't take this if you're in a bad mood, if you're having a bad day. Don't take this test. Wait till you're better. Wait till you're a little happier. Don't take it with a sour mindset. It's going to skew the results. All right? Also, when life happens, you heard me mention this over and over again, take the test again. You're going to discover you change. It will happen. And by the way, that sentinel category that I started off with, the executive, that's who I used to be for years and years and years. In fact, I would say for at least 15 years, because I took Myers-Briggs 15 to possibly 20 years ago, but I definitely took it 15 years ago, and it came back with that personality trait. And then as my life happened and things changed in my life, my recent test results, I'd say it was about 5 years ago that I switched. I changed. I morphed, if you will, and became the consul. And I've been the consul ever since. And I've taken this test about every 6 months. That's just how I roll, because I like to see if I change. And so far, it's been pretty consistent. I've been the consul. So you guys learned something a little bit about me. I used to be the executive. I became the consul. So there you go. Learn more about yourself. Spend the time, invest in yourself, and go check it out. And by the way, again, if you're interested in learning more on how to become a better version of yourself, go check out bellcomtraining.com. There we have more classes, more content that is going to help you on your journey to become better at whatever it is you do. Okay, we'll talk to you later. See you in class.